Peace, what's up? It's DJ Evil Dee. Right now, we all locked down in our houses. What I'm doing here is I'm taking time to be creative, you know what I'm saying? I'm making beats.
For me, sitting home in the self-quarantine, it's almost like, how do you say, for me it's prophetic.
Everybody's mind is racing in a million different directions, and people are dealing with anxiety about, where their next paycheck's going to come from. Are their family members all right?
Touring is really the main source of income, being on the road, doing shows, selling merch at the shows. And, I know a lot of other artists are in the same position as I am.
I do know some people who, even though they love DJing and stuff, they just don't want to go on IG Live because they're dealing with a lot more crazier things than, trying to make people dance right now.
It would be an understatement to say that we've all been greatly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We're physically and emotionally stressed, and in these times, we all try to find an escape. The escape is usually easiest when we have music, especially live music available to us. What happens when the artist needs this escape as well? What happens when something like this impacts them not just on a personal level, but a financial one? The Library with Tim Einenkel reached out to the artists, producers, DJs, so they could share their stories as well as give advice to fellow creatives. Here is Black Moon's Buckshot.
Record companies started out a long, long time ago, right? When people would make records, which is a recording, and they would put that recording onto something. That something was called a piece of wax. And there were companies who knew how to make the wax. We knew how to make the music, but we didn't make the wax. So they knew how to take the music, put it on the wax, and sell that as a company. And once they did that, they ruined us because we didn't know how to act or even get into, what that is, because they always had us with the upper hand, which is I'll give you the upfront money and you'll forget about everything else, which worked from day one and it still works today.
Renowned MC Ras Kass.
I think it's on a business level, it exposed just how fucking lazy and spoiled a lot of these artists are, and they're so used to the labels doing every fucking thing for them and being in that hype, making their careers, that they forgot what it means to hustle.
There are a handful of artists and DJs whom either have money saved in the bank or have gained notoriety. DJ Neil Armstrong served as Jay-Z's tour DJ from 2008 to 2010.
I do know quite a few DJs who rely solely on gigging, and I'm worried about a lot of heads that this time's going to be really tough. So yeah, for a lot of people, touring is the way. Touring, regular gigs, local gigs, overseas gigs, that's the way that most folks, as far as DJs go, that's how they make their money. And even my artist friends who do art stuff, I think that whole sector is kind of hurting, with the exception of, more well-established artists.
Legendary artist Masta Ace.
For an artist like myself, touring is really the main source of income, being on the road, doing shows, selling merch at the shows. And, I know a lot of other artists are in the same position as I am. So you got to rely on feature work. There's a few feature things that come through, that have been coming through since all of this happened. And but I know everybody worldwide is going to be strained financially. I don't know if people are going to have that extra couple of grand to throw at a feature when they don't know, like if they work a regular job and their job is shut down and they're not able to go to work, at some point, spending money to get a verse from somebody isn't going to be, a priority. We were very fortunate. We just did a huge tour in Europe from mid-January to mid-February, and if that tour had been pushed back a month and a half, we would have been jammed up. So we got 20 shows in right before all of this craziness hit, and that was a good thing because at least there was some bread in the household.
But what happens 2 months from now? What if there is no end in sight? Buckshot's major piece of advice is for an artist to learn the business side of the business.
I would really suggest to people, especially if you're an artist, take this time to study the business side of business. You know what? In new lessons that I got coming out, I teach people this one thing. I'm going to give it away right now, right? I teach people that business is a box, and it doesn't matter what you put in the box once you know how to make the box.
And what do you put in that box, and how do you plan for life after COVID-19? The beauty of the artist is his or her ability to take what the general public is feeling and convey it in an art piece, a poem, through instrumentals, or through words. Hopefully this pandemic gives artists time after dealing with real-life situations to focus their energy on family, health, and being creative. Smif and Wesson's General Steele.
I actually love those days when I'm able to spend those quiet times. I love my solitary confinement to a positive degree. I love to meditate. I love to read, catch up on those old books that you started reading way back when and never finished. Maybe binge watching some flicks. I keep it real simple and real basic. I like to have my my cognac on deck. My little THC on deck or CBD, whatever I feel like at the moment.
Black Moon's DJ Evil Dee.
What you got to do, one thing that you always got to be able to do is you got to take anything negative and change it positive. Yeah, okay, we're stuck in the house, but take that time to be creative. Take that time to hang out with your family. Learn, sit down and kick with your family. Me growing up as a kid in the 70s and 80s, one thing we did was we had family time. Now with technology, there is no family time. So that's the one thing that's good about this whole quarantine thing is that we can all sit down as a family and chill. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just chilling. I'm working still, being productive, and I'm doing more cooking. I'm not eating out a lot, so I'm definitely in the house cooking. Yes, I am a chef. Don't tell nobody though.
And what is producer and MC Termanology doing?
I'm staying motivated. I'm staying healthy. I'm keeping my immune system up. I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm working out, even if it's from the house. I'm going outside to get fresh air, even if it's in my parking lot, not touching nobody, not, coming close to people or giving anybody high five or handshakes. But we do need to, not sit in the house and just be fearful. We do have to go outside and get some air and know that this too shall pass and everything's going to be all right.
Legendary artist and producer Kwame, who recently celebrated his birthday with an all-day Instagram live DJ set, was able to use that experience to book future gigs.
Just the other day, it was my birthday, and I could have been either partying or doing a show or something like that, but what I decided to do was throw an IG, Instagram live, pretty much a live festival, and I brought together a lot of classic artists, and they joined my live feed as I DJ'd, and they performed, I performed, and it actually created a whole new opportunity for me. So now I'm receiving opportunities to DJ and bring what I did on Instagram live to a actual audience in the near future once this thing blows over. So that's just one example of how to create in this space and in this time.
Many artists will feel strange about being creative at this time. Queens, New York MC Bobby J from Far Rockaway understands this hesitancy.
I definitely went through a period where, you know, I wasn't really feeling creative. And it's funny because I kind of went into this thinking like, oh damn, I'm going to have all this free time and I'm going to be able to just be able to sit down and clear my mind and create. And that's not always the case. You know, a lot of times you have to take your personal feelings and your anxieties and fears into consideration first.
We are all in this together, and I know it's hard to find many positives when you're hit with somber news every day. So let me leave you with this from DJ Neil Armstrong.
One of the things about art is that I think it's universally accepted that art comes from great pain. And I don't know if it's a causal thing but basically, yeah, you know, at the times in New York when things were the most grittiest, when the things looked the most grim, you know, that's when New York was putting out, that's when hip hop was born, that's when punk was born, and who knows, maybe when this is all over, maybe there'll be an artistic renaissance to help balance things out. This is DJ Neil Armstrong, straight out of NYC, born and raised, proud to be here. I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.
For the full audio with each of these artists, subscribe to The Library with Tim Einenkel, wherever you get your podcasts. Stay safe, everyone.